Okay, still worried about the new buttons that aren't working right. We're gonna start working. I'm starting to work on verse 42 here, so let's see how I can do this. Well, that isn't working. I'm supposed to pop that up. Um, put some lights out. Oh no. 42. So this, I had it all set up. So something uh, it's not working right. Okay, it's gonna be another one of those videos like the last one. It's a little rough. Again, this was the woman that he met on the way back from uh, Jerusalem. And he's got some followers with him. And here we have the text where she had invited her the others in her city to come, and Jesus stayed with them for 2 days, and they believed him because of his teachings. And that was, he was explaining all the text referring to him. Um, now they were saying, we have heard him ourselves and now know he is our Holy One, his Holy One. And this is the way our Creator references him in the text. But they use the word this to represent the word, or to represent Jesus, this one. Know that this one indeed is the Savior for everyone on earth, not just the world, but earth. Now they have understood that he is to be king for everybody on earth. Now, that comes with knowledge from Abraham. And let's see, I thought I had it listed under J's. Well, I guess I don't get to pull that one up. I gotta redo these. I've got a new list oh, of pop-ups to show you what I'm talking about. But if you've seen the other videos or keep watching the videos, I will bring them up. After 2 days, he went from there to Lake Galilee. Well, he didn't really go to Lake Galilee, but that's what they're saying. He himself testified that a prophet has no honor in his own country. Yet that's absolutely false, because just like John is a prophet, well, everybody's proclaiming he's a prophet. He's declaring Jesus is there. So they would have, like the priest, when Jesus questions the priest in Jerusalem, you see that they even say that if we tell them John just made it up, they'll stone us to death because they believe he is a prophet. So this is not true at all. And there's text that Jesus says that he is the greatest prophet because prophets before him were announcing he's coming. What makes John special is that he said he's here. Okay. And they wouldn't call the people Galileans that are around because they're trying to put Galilee as the region, which I've renamed. Because this is new. 3 regions. These are the 3 regions here. They're governed by different governors at this time. And Jesus is in here, and they're saying he's going to Galilee. Well, he's already in here. We have him right around in this area right here. So to say that he's going to, and I added the word Lake Galilee as to say where he is going at this time. even though I know that the text is wrong, I'm going to leave it alone, because when I compile the verses together, you're going to see a lot of this be corrected again, because this story is actually before he goes out. I guess let me explain this a little bit better with the map. Jesus starts off here in the favorable year of our Lord. He has to be here at the Passover, and he celebrates for 8 days. As he's leaving, he heals a guy here, and that's in a pool, by a pool of water. Somewhere up in here on his way home, this is the highway, goes right straight up. It's the only highway in Israel at that time. Somewhere in here, he heals a boy who has no eyes at all. And that's why Jesus made clay and then put him on his eyes, and he could see, and they didn't know who he was. And so Jesus continuing, and now he meets this woman here by the well. And then he is going back to Nazareth here, and this is where he's headed on his way home, because then he announces, or he reads from the scroll, and then they don't like him saying that, but then he goes to this village here, or this town, and he raises a boy from being dead, and then he's going to come around here, and he's going to come down here to get baptized by John. Then he's going to get put here by Satan, and then from there he's going to go up to this road and start traveling, and he's going to go around. It's going to go up in here, go around here, up into here. We don't have really information about here, but this is Asher, the tribe in Asher, but they come to see him. Then what happens on his way home, he just, when he starts his voyage home, he heads over here to this city, then to this city, and then he makes to the highway again, and he heads down. And right about in here somewhere are the disciples are sent out to Judah. And then he travels, let's see, then he travels over here to Jericho, and he's going to come into Bethlehem and then up to here. And that's where he is crucified. So the story is this is on his way up to Nazareth. The text does not reflect that. I'm making sure that, because I've already put the text together, and it's the only way that this story makes sense. Because he doesn't have disciples. He hasn't picked them up. Even in John here, he hasn't picked up hardly any disciples. He's picked up 1 or 2 so far. This is chapter 4. But anyways, our people there, they didn't receive him. That's just wrong word. They accepted him as our king, because he is his holy one. So it is his king. And I'm putting in all these words that are in green, and having not seen but witnessed many miracles he done. Now, it doesn't talk about the miracles that he did or his healings, or witness many miracles he done. So this text, when I'm putting it together, there has to be these healings that he's doing here. And I guess I would say the word miracle is wrong here. I guess it should be healings. And get this corrected. Okay, he done. Now, Jerusalem at the feast, they themselves also went to the feast. This, he's already away from Jerusalem. How do they run down to Jerusalem? They're trying to put it as that they were there at not the feast, but the celebration. And they themselves also went to, well, Jesus didn't do that many healings in Jerusalem. He healed a guy that was next to a pool of water, we know, but that verse is absolutely untruthful. Here I needed to change what they're calling Galilee to Israel to make it sense of how an Israeli would write this text. Now here this is where they're going to say he went back to Cana, where he had made water into wine, and from there he healed not a royal official's son. A royal is like a prince. So the word royal can't be correct here at all, no matter how you want to try to put it in there. You would have like a Roman official maybe, and they are going to have that show up in the Hebrew text. But the object here is the royal has to be removed, and we have an official's son who was sick. Now it's way up in Capernaum. Now here, this is kind of odd because it's just jumping around. Like I said, we've got him right now. Jesus is being here, or was invited to this town here. Somewhere in here is Cana that they're saying, and now he's up here. That they want to say is up here by Capernaum, which is just how did they get there that quick? Okay. We're talking in mileage, we're talking maybe 40 miles wide. I think maybe 70 miles this way from top to bottom. So, yes, you can travel fast, but I don't think he's traveling that erratic. But I have made this official attendant son. Now, an attendant son is one who is at when you have a synagogue and you go in there, they have teachers. Now, these teachers are most likely scribes that are teaching. And then they have attendants to wait on them to say that, well, we're going to teach from this book, or I need this book, go get me this book. And then they would teach, and these attendants would be held in high regard in that in the group of those that are at that synagogue. So that's who I don't. He's not our Jesus was not sent to heal Israelis. Okay, so that's the problem here with this text. A royal official, that would be a Roman's official's son. Well, it's going to be the attendant son, so he has to be an Israeli. And as he was leaving from Lake Galilee, they requested Jesus to come to heal his son. See, here it was that he's sick here. Okay, they were going to have it from Judea to Galilee. Now, what they're saying in the text here is that Jesus is way down here in Jerusalem someplace, and this is known as Judea, and this area is known as Galilee. Okay, so when he's going to right across here, well, how did he get way up here to Capernaum? Okay, the story really is scattered and all over the place. But it cleaned up. It kind of reads like this, even though there's a lot wrong with this text. He told him to go home, son will live, and he started off for home. Now it's saying that this official had slaves, Israelis didn't have slaves. What they had was a work prison, and what they did was those people that couldn't pay their debts borrowed from each other Israelis, they were tossed into this work prison, and if another Israeli needed to hire them to work for them, they would go get these people from there, and they'd come work, but they would be taken, instead of paying them, they pay the guy's debt off, and that's how the guy is released. But every 7 years, all of these in the work prison are released and they all go back home. They never had slaves. So his servant met him and told him they could work for people, and they would be, that's a job, and they would, because now that he's got a servant, I might have to change this up here, an attendant son. Here it would be like a lord, meaning that he had a large, his home was larger to where it's not a home no longer, it's a house that has servants, and it's more built up, a more wealthy person. So how do I change the word attendant then, now that we got him having a servant? And I guess I'm just going to use the word Lord, because Abraham was a lord because he had many servants, or more, yeah, servants. So a lord's son. And that way, that is correct to know. A lord's son was sick at Capernaum. Now that's a long way he went after. Anyways, met him and told him his son is living, but he was living before. He was just ill. So the word living can't be correct. His son is now healthy. Is now healthy. Um, and then he asked, what hour did he begin to get better? And they answered, yesterday. At the 7th hour, the fever had left him. And now the father knew that was the hour. Jesus told him, your son will live. Now here it's saying this is the second sign, that sign, the second healing Jesus performed when he come out of Judah into Galilee. No, we've already got them. We already know that there's other stories. So this would just be false, because you can't just go by one gospel and say everything in the one gospel is true. You read the rest of them, you would know that this is not true, as well as this. And after these things, no, those words are just, what are they talking about, these things? See, these things, they're referring to Jesus as healing people. That's not, you don't call them these things. Then came his Passover for the Israelis, not the Jews. Jews don't believe in Jesus, so let's not have the word incorrectly be put in. It's Israelis, they are the true believers, and Jesus went to Jerusalem. Now, he can't be doing these healings before he goes to the Passover, and because the Passover is the beginning of the year for the Israeli people at that time. That's our Creator's calendar. And he starts the Passover off in the Sinai when he says that he's going to um, take them into Sinai, and they're going to be his nation, and this will be the first year. And tonight I'm going to kill all the firstborn sons from Egyptians, and then I'm passing over your sons. And then they were supposed to have this ram ate and shared among all the Israelis that could eat one ram. That's how they gathered. And so the thing here is when they went into Sinai and Passover came the second time, our Creator told them to celebrate it for 8 days. So that's how I get the 8 days. But Jesus can't be coming back to Jerusalem. Okay, here's where he's going to heal this guy that's in by the pool of water. Now, by Jerusalem is a pool. They call it Bethsaida. No, don't believe any of that kind of stuff. This is just added text. Having 5 sitting rooms there, we need to have this understood as sitting rooms or waiting rooms for people that were ill, because they were under the false pretense that when the pool of water stirs, that the first one in the pool will become healthy. So I'm sure there was a large scam going on there. But Jesus um, here is going to, and this is the story that they lay the sick and lame and withered. And here, this is text that they're saying is found in other manuscripts and not in the original manuscripts that they made the Hebrew text from for the Bible. The 1611 translators had more material for them to go through, and that's what they did. And they found these verses and put them in here. But I'm not going to use all of it. This is one of those rare occasions that I need to have some of this text to be here. So, and they were waiting for the moving for an angel went to at certain seasons to the pool and would stir up the water, and who was first after the stirring up the water, or if they stepped in, was said to they might be healed, and whatever disease which they were afflicted of. Well, that's just a scam going on. I'm just going to flat out put it as a scam. And what's going to happen here is that if they got 5 waiting rooms, well, then that means that there was these people were being waited on. Somebody had to pay for that. They had to pay for the room, these waiting areas. So this kind of thing here, and they were probably large areas that held more than one. But the object is it was a scam at that time. We know that none of that's ever been true. And here he was 38 years of sickness, and Jesus saw him laying there, knew that he'd already been along. Doesn't need to know this. We've already been given that he's got 38 years there. So Jesus asked him, do you want to be healed? Not that do you want to get well. They had it to that, do you want to get well? That's just not, to get well is not the right word. Do you want to be healed? He answered him, sir, I have no male to put me in the pool when the water stirs. So now you know that he is very ill, but these waiting rooms, he was too far away when they would say, when he would witness somebody else go in there and say, oh, I'm healed, look at me. I don't know. So that's why I'm saying it's a scam. But he's given him what he knows is true to him, or what has happened to him here in the pool of water. And it says, well, I'm coming, another steps in before me. Well, no male to put me in the pool means that to assist me. This has to be assist me into the pool. Because If he needs to carry somebody, then he would be by the pool and he'd just roll right in when he'd see the water stir. And that's what I'm saying is that this, um, I have no male to assist me to the pool, help him get up and get going. So here, um, just Jesus just says to him, "Arise and pick up your stretcher and walk home." They call it a pallet, but it's not. It's more of a bed that they're laying on, and it would be something that it shows that he has needs assistance to be able to get around a lot, so they carry him on the stretcher back and forth. Um, so I guess the word assist is wrong here. I'm just thinking and trying to edit at the same time, and it's uh, not put, but I guess place me in the water. I think place me in the pool. I have no male to place me into the pool when the water stirs. Anyways, Jesus tells him to pick up your stretcher and walk home. Um, it's more correct understanding of a stretcher than it is a pallet. Because I'm trying to think these stretchers would have legs on them so they can just go over and grab and pick them up. But that's still a stretcher. So now we have immediately he was healed, not became well, but was healed. And he picked up, not that he took, he picked up his stretcher and uh, walked home. Oh, to walk home. I added the word home because he has to be going someplace. He was he was healed on our holiday, holy day. So some were telling him, not who cured it. Today is our holy day, and YV commanded you will not carry your stretcher, not carry a stretcher. Um, you are not. And I'm thinking that was that word there. So you are not to carry a stretcher. You are not to carry a stretcher. So now we have, and then it was that he's replying here. He told them, and the words here change it here. These are just like the beginning of the words here, and it sounds better to be corrected to read smoother as you're reading verse by verse. Who healed me? He who healed me said, "Carry your stretcher and walk home." So now here, he has to be going someplace, and I just made it so he's walking home. Um, then he asked him. Uh, then they ask him, "Who told you to take up your stretcher?" Okay. they had this word here, and I changed it from there to there. So they ain't changed. They added the word, and I'm adding a different word than that. Who told you to pick up your stretcher? They're more worried about him carrying. He said he did not know his name, for Jesus had left. Not that he slipped away from there where the crowd was at that place. Uh, Jesus just told him to get up and walk. The guy probably kind of like, wow, I'm healed. Thank you. See you later. um, I mean, so when you start to think about the story logically, how it would happen, yes, they probably talked for a little bit, and uh, Jesus turned around and walked away. And he probably turned to pick up his pallet or pick up his stretchers so he could head home. Um, now, actually, well, he has to be, yeah, never mind. Later that day, Jesus talked to him by his house. Now, Jesus is back in Jerusalem by his house. It's never a temple, it's a house for a meeting with our Creator. A temple is a place where you put a false idol. Told you have become well, do not sin anymore so that anything worse befall you. Now, this would be teaching karma, okay? Or if you sin, bad things happen to you. Absolutely. A sin did not get him to be his sickness, okay? So this is just text I'm taking out. Then he went back and told them, not to Jews, but he told them, see, these would have been priests then or something like that, or judges or scribes or somebody that, and not just Jews, but told them, Jesus who healed me. And it says made me well. I guess I should have used the word healed down here, but made him well. Jesus healed him. And they came to harass. Then they came to harass Jesus because he healed him on a holy day. But he answered to them, let me pull up that verse. Let me see here. What I need is the text here. Let me see if that pulls up. And I need to get to John, which is way down here. Wow, I talk about that being on the mark today there. Um, Here's the question that they're going to ask him. Okay. So this is let's see if I'm grabbing the right ones. 16, 17, 18, yeah. 16, 17, I'm grabbing the next verse as well. But let me just paste it in here. And this reason the Jews were persecuting Jesus because he was okay, we don't need that text. He had to go back and tell them, so then they had to come get to Jesus. So anyways, but he answered them, my Father is working until now, and I myself am working. What kind of answer is that? I mean, truly, what kind of answer is Jesus giving them? Double speak. My Father is working. Now, the text they've got next is for this cause, therefore the Jews were seeking more to kill him. They weren't to kill him yet at this time. So that's just out of place because he not only was breaking the Sabbath, which I've changed to holy days. But he's now calling God his own Father. We are all, Father is just another title for our Creator, so this is just ridiculous of them complaining about that and then making himself equal with God because he can work on a holy day. So now that you see that text, and it absolutely has to be changed, but his answer to them was, our Father, how do I have it down here? My healing is our Father's work, and now I'm being harassed for his work. Okay, I've got this all red lettered because working now because this has all got to be changed. Okay, all this is changed. So I had to add from here I had the word R. Let's see, where do I have that? Okay. What I did was I added it here. Boy, did I have this jumbled up. My healing is, this should have been added here. Is our Father's to be, I would have had to add it here. So that's what I'm adding. It's, what a, you can get, I knew what I was doing at the time I did this, but that's so now, so, and this will be Jesus speaking, so I made it as, not him saying something stupid like this, as my Father is working until, and I myself, am working. I'm, my healing is our Father's work, which is true. That's no. Oh, I went to the other text. Sorry about that. Now this would be here, but this has got to be taken out of there. Until now, working. What did I do here? I made it a period. And I had used the word now, so I used the word and. So, and it was like this would be down. And now I am. So I got rid of this here. Now myself am working. So I left this here. Am, and now I am harassed for his work. So let's see. This text I've done. This is the text that I'm saying starts here. So if I got rid of this, and now I am harassed for his work. Okay, that's, wow. That was rather long and difficult. So this is the text that you see in your Bible, or the New American Standard 1977. It doesn't make any sense that way. But he answered them, my Father is working until now, and I myself am working. Um, it is now he's doing this working, so it's my healing is our Father's work. And now you would understand what this is really truly saying. Our Father is working. Well, this healing is our Father's work because they know that guys might not realize, but the text talks about prophets healing people, and they would come to a prophet would declare, "You are healed because our Creator has told me to heal you, and you came to me, and I'm healing you because you believe our Creator, and He has told me I can heal you." So now go for a testimony, take your offering to a priest. Now that was in the days of old. So this is why I'm making sure that this is into the text now. And it's our Father's work that does the healing. And not so much that um, Jesus is taken responsible like I can do whatever our Creator does. He is making sure I'm making sure that text is being referred to. It's our Creator's work. And now, and I got this. And now, yeah, I was going to say, I took that out. And now I am harassed for his work because, see, they were complaining that he was healed and then told to pick up his pallet and go home. So they're, um, so how does this refer to them doing this complaining about whether, who told you to carry? Now, well, they came to harass Jesus. So the thing here is the most likely conversation had to have taken place that I healed him. So the thing there is you got a problem with me healing him? Those are my Father's work. And now I am harassed for his work, and kind of avoids the situation of pretty much picking up the pallet. I don't see that being answered here or enough text to say that. I should be adding more text to say that because if you understand the text from what Jesus is saying, is that on a holy day, those that are doing good, like today we'd say doctors, nurses, even firemen or policemen that are rushing to the situation, um, they aren't really held against working on a holy day. So the thing here is because they're helping people. I guess if he would be saying, well, he didn't want him to leave that behind and have somebody else pick up after him. So the stretcher was pretty much his responsibility to take care of, and Jesus just telling him to pick it up and head on home. So I think I've gone far enough that I should stop here, and I guess I'm going to get rid of that verse, and then I'm going to put it down here because it's probably going to have to be used in the next one when I'm talking about it. All right. Yes, I think I better call it quits here.